when we got into roasting ourselves in 1983, we found that there's a 16% shrink in the cooking process, so when you roast 600 pounds, you get 504 back. But we'll roast it up and get our 504 pounds, and when we finish roasting coffee, we quench the roast with some water. And that's just to guarantee that the roasting process stops when we want it to, so it guarantees us what the color is. So when that roasting process has been stopped, there'll be a certain amount of moisture in that product. It's going to help the coffee. It'll help it grind better. It'll help the shelf life of it. We shoot for less than 3. We go 2–2.5% moisture content. We feel like that's a good target for us for the end product and the taste of the coffee in the cup that we want. Anything we roast today, we're not going to grind it today. We're going to put it upstairs and we're going to let it rest. You know, just mellow out a little bit from the cooking process. And the next morning, we'll grind that coffee, and anything we grind that next day, we're going to package. Everything that takes place after the roasting process in those bins upstairs is nitrogen flushed to keep it as fresh as we possibly can. The single most staling factor for coffee is oxygen. That's the biggest enemy, so you want to keep the oxygen content as low as you can into the sealed package. And once you seal that package, we generally get about a 16-week shelf life out of the product on the what we call the fractional pack. The retail packaging, we get a good bit more shelf life out of that. We check everywhere we can check for quality and consistency, because that's extremely important. When our roaster roasts that coffee, he'll take a sample out of the bin as the coffee cools and bring it in here to the quality control room. He will grind it and check the color. When we know what the color is out of that roaster, we'll know what it is in the finished product in the package. And that keeps us as consistent as we possibly can in that coffee that we do produce for the customer. Another important thing to us is once we roast that coffee, we try to keep it in its own atmosphere until the customer opens that package where they are going to consume that product. And the way we do that is we have a dense phase pneumatic air conveying system. But basically what we're doing is the system's sealed out of the grinder and the coffee is propelled up into a holding bin until it's packaged by an air conveying system. It's all geared around ultimate guaranteed freshness, to know that they'll get the same pot today that they got last week and they'll get the same thing next week.